BBI, reggae. This is a BBI week. This is a reggae week. And therefore we must talk BBI. We must do a reggae jig. First is the BBI report a good document? There are mixed reactions. What do I think myself? I've always stated that the BBI is a good idea. I've always stated the handshake was a good thing for this country. But I've also always stated that looking from the first BBI report, I didn't see much into it. But I told Kenyans immediately that first report came last year in November, that there will be another report coming, that was not even the report. Someone said, in some studio I was. What do you mean? Yes, it has come to pass. We have another BBI report. This morning I report there will be yet another report, but after the 2022 elections. The next question we ask ourselves, is this report good for William Ruto? My honest answer is no. What Ruto had hoped would be now this time round the position of a powerful prime minister, so that they could begin to say that this BBI thing is intent on making President Uhuru Kenyatta a prime minister in 2022. But the way it is, do you think Uhuru Kenyatta can go for such a premier position, as weak and as almost as useless as it is, a person to be fired by the president in the morning, the way the president wakes up? I very much doubt so. So they cannot use it to fight BBI, because they wanted to fight BBI. They wanted Raila and Uhuru to lose in the referendum, and that will give them the momentum as they head into 2022. So this report has not been good to William Ruto. Is it good to Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta? Yes, it is good to them, because it will pass. And once it passes, and when I say it will pass, I'm inviting Kenyans to interrogate what I'm saying, not to blame me. I'm not saying I like it. I've already said what is contained therein, I don't seem to like it. And I'm going to explain. It will pass, and it will be very good for them for 2022. I have always argued that the handshake will amount to nothing. The good things Uhuru and Raila talked about will not amount to anything unless these two gentlemen have the power 2022 and beyond. And therefore, if this referendum passes the way I know it will, it is going to help them get a team, like Uhuru Kenyatta mentioned yesterday, that he'll want to put all the leaders in one room and talk as Kenyans. What that means is 2022, we shall have consensus democracy, negotiated democracy, where decisions will be done in a boardroom. It may not be what I like, and I've said this before. We may have to suspend democracy for a few short years or 2 or 3 terms. If democracy means periodic elections, even if those elections bring bloodshed. So yes, they will have their way. It will help them make a team. Now to the politics of BBI. I'll come back to the substance. To the politics of BBI. I want to point out, like I've said, this does not help William Ruto. If you saw what happened in Kisii, if you saw what then happened in Kisumu later, you must have noticed 2 things. And this is exactly why I'm saying William Ruto may not benefit from this BBI. First of all, it will pass. If you saw the Uhuru I saw in Kisii, it was a new Uhuru. If you saw Uhuru in Kisumu and Raila, that was a new Uhuru. He's a man who is on top of his game now. He's a man on top of his game. He has come from his hiding. He hasn't quite shown what he's made of. Hiyo ni kionjo tu, but you could see. Now, the 2 things I'm talking about. The Tanga Brigade has been saying that they have the country. They have even been saying that if you go to Kisumu, to Nyanza, people are beginning to doubt Raila. Did that come out when Kisumu hosted Uhuru and Raila? The answer is no. And the two things are this. One, that they were becoming the master of the masses in terms of the crowd they were attracting. What did you see in Kisumu? And I want to add, for the sake of those who think that Uhuru and Raila were weak, when it comes to crowds, what you saw in Kisumu may be just a tip of the iceberg. I suspect after Bomas, these two brothers could head to Mombasa, Tononoka, and have a crowd like you've never seen before, organized by Kingi and the 001 Joe. It'll be a crowd you've never seen before. And then they will come to Uhuru Park, my friend. And after Uhuru Park, because they will not only shake the capital city, the crowd in Uhuru Park will shake the entire country. After that happens, I'm not working for them, I don't talk for them, but if they did that, after that happens, you can be sure the Mount Kenya region will be ready for them. They would even have a rally in Kiambu that will make Ishunga run out of town. That is what the message you are getting from Kisii to Kisumu, Bomas, and thereafter. Second thing, the Tangatanga Brigade have been using the idea of giving. Peana kwa wanyonge, kawilbaro kamoja pale, kokoteni mbili pale, tanki ya kuosha maji, vijana boda boda pokea kidogo. I want to go back to the 1970s, especially the late 1970s and the most of 1980s. The idea of development conscious leaders came from then. That's the genesis, where people were beginning to give in Harambes. In poor neighborhoods like where I come from, it was 1,000 shillings. The person who gave most during Harambes is the person who then became the MP. That is what the Tangatanga have reintroduced. It worked so high, so much. The best example will be Mbiri, I think is now Kiaru, where Dr. Gekonyo Kiano with his wife, late Jane, had done wonders in Mbiri constituency. The first constituency where women were not carrying water on their backs. The first constituency where grass-thatched houses and tin-roofed houses were replaced by clean iron sheet roofed houses. But of all people, Gekonyo Kiano was sent out of Mbiri by Matiba. Why? Matiba was a man of money and means. He was able to bring all the leaders, religious, political, business community, all the billionaires from Murang'a, and we were all surprised that he was able to remove. So that was the game. Today, that is a game William Ruto and Tangatanga have reintroduced. The game of giving. I just want to say, if you saw from Kisii, and yesterday somewhere in some hall in Pumwani, the president can give. For every one wheelbarrow you give, he can choose to give 50. For every one boda boda you give, or for every 10 million you give to boda boda, he can give 50 million. Why? First, he's a rich man. He has old money compared to new money that you, William Ruto, has. Secondly, he has been around from 1960, cutters of the Kenyatta family. He has a network of friends who can put 50 billion down and tell him, enda nunulia watu pikipiki. But more importantly, why you'll again lose on that score, the way you are losing on the score of the crowds, is because on top of having the money, his and the friends, and he did not even use his, he also has state power that comes with state money. You get it? So he can give incentives to border people. I saw something yesterday. He can put something in their circle, 10, 20 billion. You cannot do that. So he will beat you at that score. He can use the same to bring leaders together, and this is the last point I'm making. Because when you see leaders in Central, governors, all of them, when you see people coalescing around Uhuru and Raila, the big boys in this country, don't think they love Raila or Uhuru. Don't think they believe in BBI. totally. They may, but it need not be necessary so. It is because they are aware where the power is. They know Uhuru is not just the president. He is the head of state. He has all the power to give and take. He has the carrot, he has the stick. That's why they are lying where he is. Equally, when you see people following you leaders, William Samoei Ruto, it is not because they love you. They may love you, of course. It's not because Tanga narrative is a good narrative. It may be, of course, but it is because of what they get out of you. That is the reality of politics. And that is why, because the biggest giver, the man with the biggest authority in the country, the man in control of the force, that man has gathered all the big boys, and the Kenyan politics is played around the big boys and girls. So if you go to Central, you get all the big people are with him. And if they are going to assemble the troops led by all the big people, let me use my own region as an example. Because all the big players, beginning with Atoli, go to Oparanya. I hear Mudavadi is in the gate now. Wetangula is right in the compound, the BBI compound. Eugene has been in the house. Surely when you go to Western, like I've said before, after the rally has moved from Mombasa to Uhuru Park, you go to Kiambu. On your way to Western, you pass Nakuru. And Raila and Uhuru have the capacity to have a rally like no other in Nakuru. Make no mistake, my friend. Like no other. Then you head to Ingo land. And you have all those big boys of Paranya, Tuoli, Mudavadi, Wetangula, Eugene, all those big boys and all the governors there. All the 5 governors, including the Trans Nzoia governor. All of them moving into Bukhungu Stadium. My friend, where will you find Boni Khalwale? He will be under the bed. Where will you find Washali? He likes hiding in the bush. He will be in the bush. That is the kind of thing I'm saying. So when I look at that trajectory, I see this BBI thing first will go through with an overwhelming majority. Secondly, because of that momentum of winning the referendum, I see 2022 is an open secret. Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga will pick this thing in the morning. As Atoli will always say it, by 10 o'clock, whoever Uhuru and Raila would have anointed will be the president of the Republic of Kenya.